So Mark,
Yes.
where were you raised?
I'm a Brooklyn boy, Bay Ridge section of Brooklyn. Yeah.
Is that on the water?
It is right under the Verrazano Bridge on the Brooklyn side. Still love, great neighborhood. Bay Ridge is like a unique, to me, example of a success story of American towns.
You have to show me sometime.
Oh, I hope you'd love to.
So was the mafia involved in your childhood?
Mafia? You know, Brooklyn is kind of known for a lot of that. Even when I went to Poly Prep, there were a couple of, grandsons of big shots. They were like mafia royalty. That was around, and certainly also my father owning this nightclub. At one time or another, every major gangster came through there, so I did have that exposure. But
And was the mafia involved in any of your stock brokerage companies?
No. As I've said, I grew up amongst people, some. I always kept my distance and conducted myself up until I had trouble in a legal fashion. You know, there were certain things on the periphery, because if you know that at other brokerage houses, firms that I knew of, you knew there was mob infiltration. And for me, there was even one occasion where someone did approach me about pushing certain stocks that they wanted me to push. As I've said, in my neighborhood growing up, I knew a lot of people. There were all different types. And particularly with my father's business, the nightclub, there were many. So, you know, I was never so concerned about being squeezed by anyone in the mafia. It didn't happen very often in our business. I saw it, I witnessed it at other firms. But I felt pretty well protected.
So Mark, what projects are you currently working on?
Quite a few things I'm very excited about. You know, my area is sales and marketing. And that's what I'm currently involved with a rare coin company. I have been for the last couple of years. And taken a quick crash course in it the last year, although I work with buyers who are more equipped than I am in the expertise in buying these. And I sell gold and silver bullion and rare coins. But
Bullion?
Bullion, do you know what
Isn't that
bullion
like
is?
chicken bouillon?
No, there's another term. Bullion is the term for gold and silver with no numismatic quality, meaning just simply gold and silver, nothing beyond that.
Okay.
It's a pretty big market,
And I
precious
hear
metals.
you're writing a book as well?
I've written a few things. I'm a writer. I've always written. I have several things I'm working on with my partner, Richard Chen, and I hope to speak about them in the coming weeks.
Great. So Mark, what do you think we can do to fix Wall Street as it stands now? Is it unfixable?
You see, I'm one of these people who I am certainly not anti-capitalism, industry, or Wall Street. Yet, I think from the bird's eye view I've had, and looking back now, looking at the whole thing, it's obvious after the 2008 fiasco, the mortgage-backed crisis, Wall Street is, it's almost as if they're beyond reproach in terms of the way they conduct business. You've heard of too big to fail. All of these companies would have gone out of business if the government didn't bail them out. Not to mention, they were all engaged in what was obviously criminal conduct. J.P. Morgan just settled a criminal suit for billions, but there were no arrests. There were no arrests in these recent years. Look, the top levels of Wall Street, Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, Morgan Stanley, they operate above. It's not even considered illegal, their behavior. But I think if they take a closer look, it possibly could be.
And does that infuriate you, having spent 4.5 years in federal prison?
Let me tell you, I will always feel there was an unfairness. A scapegoat, a bit I was. We were perfect sitting pigeons because we were brokerage houses, but small. Merrill Lynch's and the first Bostons, they didn't like us. Okay? And I feel, for the most part, what we did is also done at the bigger firms. You can use language like pump and dump, boiler room. It certainly wasn't the way my firm was completely. I was surrounded by lawyers. I made markets in small cap firms, companies, I should say. We were a small investment bank.
So tell me some of the basic techniques of selling and what you imparted on these younger people like Jordan.
I'll tell you, that's the most interesting part to me. And for me, that's my forte. So I took an interest. I have a master's degree in marketing. I love finance, but I'm more of a communications guy, which is what I think sales is. We are the communicators. And there's a certain style, but there's a substantial number of principles, techniques that we utilize and that I teach to this day that work, no doubt about it. It works for me in every business I've been in. It's pure salesmanship. We can touch on a few things if it's a bit more extensive than allows us for right now.
All right. And who were your customers for stock sales?
That's also part of, excuse me.
Did you trick little old ladies into buying stock?
That's what I mean, none of that. And that's why I felt comfortable with it for myself. When I started at L.F. Rothschild and then went to Drexel Burnham Lambert, and I had previously worked at Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns, it was a hard, fast rule, concrete rule. A person had to be qualified beforehand in order to be a customer. You had to ask certain questions and determine certain things. And then for him to be a client of the firm, he had to have a net worth of a minimum of $2 million. So we were not at all dealing with that. And a prospectus went out exactly on the specifics of the companies we were selling.
Hi, I'm Isabelle Dungan and I'm here with Mark Hanna. If you'd like to tune into his radio show, Mark Hanna's World, go to nytalkradio.net. Hey Mark.
Yes, Isabelle.
You like speaking publicly, don't you?
Well, I've had to do it in my career for years, and I still do. Yes, it's important, it's necessary.
Well, viewers, Mark is available for speaking engagements. If you would like to contact his agent, you can email him at wesleyleealan@aol.com.
Good idea.